Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Post-Bac Jumpstart. My name is Christina. I work at the UCLA Career Center, and I am happy to welcome representatives of 6 Post-Bac programs. And this is the agenda for today. We're going to start off with KGI, and I will stop my share and invite June, Jonathan, and Zarian to present on KGI's program today.
Thank you so much, Christina. Hello, everyone. My name is June Kim. I'm the director of the Post-Bac programs at KGI. And if you were listening very carefully, you probably heard the plural, the S, and that's because we have 2 programs. They're both academic enhancers. One's for pre-med and one's for pre-PA. So in this limited time, what I really was hoping to do with all of you is to share with you not just specifically about KGI, but also just how to look at post-bac programs. And I think we have some amazing programs on the panel tonight for all of you to learn about them, because they're going to be different. And so you want to find one that is going to work best for you. And as Christina mentioned, I am accompanied by 2 students. Well, one is a alum. Jonathan, where are you? Okay, there's Jonathan. And Zarian, who is a current post-bac student in our program. They're here to assist me by providing accurate and honest answers. And I provide the nice sounding answers. So let's go ahead and get through the overview of our program. So our program is what's known as an academic enhancer. It is a post-bac program for students who are looking to improve upon their undergraduate record. For whatever various reasons, they did not do as well as they would have liked, and therefore they are looking for an opportunity to improve upon that undergraduate record. And so here you see sort of a quick summary of some of the highlights. Rigorous graduate science curriculum. And may I also add that the graduate curriculum is an interdisciplinary graduate curriculum, meaning that it not only has the biology and the chemistry that you would normally find in traditional science curriculum, it actually has business as well as engineering, a little bit of business as well. So extracurricular activities, you'll see that we have a lot of opportunities for our students to get involved, whether they be clinical in nature or maybe more volunteering non-clinical opportunities. We do have highly personalized academic advising, and that's because we have an extremely small number of students in our program. The ratio of pre-health advisor or students to pre-health advising advisor is, let's see, it is 15 to 1. As of this semester, it's 15 students per pre-health advisor. And last but not least, we have a very strong collaborative and supportive community of students. So, and that culture is fostered and very intentionally created, and we have to at KGI. And that is because we're an extremely small school. Hey, Jonathan, can you go ahead and just share with our fellow Bruins here what the transition was like to go from somewhere like UCLA to KGI?
Of course. So you mentioned this already, June, about the ratio of our advisors to students. I felt during my time at KGI, something that really stood out to me was the support of the administration. I always felt that they were behind me. I'm sure Zarian, maybe he feels that way too. That was something that stood out to me. Again, the collaborative community. A lot of our work, our course load is group project based or collaborative in nature. So I really appreciated that as a transition from UCLA, a much bigger school, to a smaller school. I felt that the focus was on me, and anything that I needed in terms of support, I got that from that type.
Thanks, Jonathan. You remember UCLA is divided into North Campus, South Campus.
Yes.
KGI is like building number 1, building number 2, or building number 3. That's how small we are. So thank you for that, Jonathan. Students love numbers. So here's some numbers for students to sort of take in. Obviously, we're not going to find students who have 3.7s, 520 MCAT scores, but you could quickly see they're in the low 3s or the high 400s and low 500s. And that's because our program really is a good fit for those students that they're solid rock star B average students, because given how competitive admissions is for admission to medical school and PA. In fact, I want to have Zarian right after this slide speak to your sort of journey to how you arrived. But our program really is geared for those people who maybe got real close. I mean, some of our students may have interviewed. Some of our students may have been waitlisted, but they did not get that exciting news to start medical school or dental school. And I do say other graduate health professional programs because inevitably we have students, even though our program was designed for students going on to medical school, some students choose to go otherwise to optometry school. We had our very first optometry school bound alum. We've also had some alums go to dental school. So there are different pathways that are available for students. And I'm sure just by the nature of this slide being here for about 5 seconds, all of you have read it. And this is something that I did allude to earlier about unique interdisciplinary curriculum of KGI. And this is where, again, just because something is different doesn't mean it's better or worse. But this is why you need to examine very carefully every single program and determine whether that is a good fit for you. So, hey, Zarian, you are in our Post-Bac pre-PA program. So tell me about how you came about deciding on our program. You know, there's so many great Post-Bac programs out there, but you're also pre-PA. Can you share with our students about your sort of thought process as you were looking at different Post-Bac programs?
Yeah, definitely, June. One of the things that really drew me to KGI was the fact that it had a PA specific Post-Bac program. That was something I was like, okay, that's not common at all. You see a couple of them popping up now, but at the time, KGI was the only one that I saw. And seeing that, I saw that KGI has field trips, that they visit PA schools and medical schools. And that was something that was appealing to me. And also KGI offered an opportunity to have clinical experience. At the time, I'd only had clinical experience working as an EMT. So I wanted to gain experience in the hospital, and KGI was able to provide that to me. And also overall, just having the mixed learning of pharmacy and business, having that was awesome to have.
All right. Thanks for that, Zarian. All right, so moving on to the next slide here. So here's a real quick sort of sampling of some of the classes. As I had mentioned earlier, these aren't your typical sort of ology classes that you find during undergrad. I mean, yes, there's a few, virologies and microbiologies, but otherwise they are not the type of course titles that you may be accustomed to. These are some of the volunteer opportunities. Again, we work very carefully with our students to make sure that you don't repeat the same mistakes that you made during undergrad. And very frequently, one of the mistakes that we come across is taking on too much extracurricular activity. And so we have a few sampling of the more common and popular extracurricular activities that our students participate in. We also have the unique sort of structure where our students do a one-year certificate, or they continue on during their application year for a second year. And that second year allows them to earn a master's degree. And it could be in any of our concentrations. And we have infectious diseases, we have bioprocessing, we have clinical regulatory affairs. And I think the one that's really popular these days is public health is also very popular. So master's degree is an option for our post-bac students. Here are just some of the paths that some of our alums have taken. As I mentioned, we have the medical school, obviously, as a post-bac pre-med focus. Many of them go on to med school. PA, industry employment, meaning they're working for various companies like Pfizer, Genentech, Illumina, to name a few. We've had 6 students go on to PhD route and really have gone the route of academia. We've had some students go to dental school, pharmacy school, and you can see that last one is our one and only optometry bound alum. So let's see here. Why KGI? Avoid making the same mistakes. And this is where you really want to take advantage of the pre-health advising at your institution. and try to figure out which program is a great fit to address the area that you need most help. Strong community of peers. Again, we're a very small school. We have more parking surface area than we do classroom, which I don't know if that's a thing, and I want to share that. But again, it's to convey how small our school is. History of success. We have amazing alums that come back and share. Here are some pictures. I think pictures are worth 1,000 words. Zarian, you alluded to the trips. Here's a quick snapshot of some of our excursions. And we do that because students learn so much by going and visiting. You could read all the stats and MSAR and websites, but to be there in person is completely different. And here we have our PPA students who went on the trip. Are you in this area? No, because you're this year's cohort. These are a little bit older. Here's some of our alums, kind of where they ended up. Real quick snapshot of that. Here's some PPA alums. And of course, the last 2 years, because of the pandemic, we did a lot of Zoom. And that's why we also do a special workshop for just how do you interview virtually? Although we do also in person. And in fact, Zarian, did you sign up for what's going on coming up soon?
The mock interviews, yeah, I did.
You did, of course you would. You're such a great student. So here, this is just a picture of us visiting a campus out in Arizona. And then afterwards, they just really let loose and they have a lot of fun. I think that's one of the key things that I think is really important. Who should apply? I kind of covered this already. All majors, but must have prereqs completed. If you are missing prereqs, then our program is not for you. You want to look for a different type of program. What are the most common majors? Again, you don't have to be a science major, but you do have to have the prereqs. We do see a lot of biological sciences major. And then how can we sell this program to students in other programs on majors? What would be attractive? Okay, non-science majors would help them sort of differentiate themselves. And what other major and disciplines can we attract? Meaning, you know, who else might be a good fit? Students who are in the humanities and social sciences, because again, you have that skill set, you have that ability to write a 20-page essay. And that is something that I think many traditional pre-medical students do not have the background in. Summer programs, I think, I just wanted to share with you a couple of snippets of email that I received from students a couple months ago or right before the winter break. I hope I did FERPA justice and remove the identifying to preserve and respect confidentiality. But again, here's some contact information. Thank you so much for your attention. If there are any questions, we can take them now, or I believe it's at the end. Is that right, Christina?
Yes, I ask everybody to put it in the Q&A just because of interest of time. So
Sure.
you can start looking through the Q&A. There is one question there and you can start typing the answers.
Got it. Okay.
And if we have a little time towards the end, for sure, we're gonna address questions too.
Okay. And I know my two guests, Jonathan and Zarian, I mean, they're students, so they're always studying. So we're going to go ahead and dismiss them. I'll catch you guys later. Thanks so much for making the time. You know, I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and answer this question. The question I see is the program free? Basically, free would not work because I need to get paid. My wife and kids want to be able to go grocery shopping. So the program is unfortunately not free. But it is very consistent with the price of private post-bac programs out there. So again, I know that price is a real factor in all of your decisions as you examine different programs out there. And in fact, I would highly encourage you to find one that falls within your budget. It's the same conversation I'm having with my teenager as she is looking to drive and get a car. We got to find one that's in our budget. She wants a Tesla. She's not getting a Tesla. So thank you so much. I don't see any other questions.
Thank you so much. And if you guys have any questions about KGI, please put it in the Q&A and mention KGI. And I'm going to invite Ruth and Katie to present on USC's master's program.
Well, thank you very much. We're very excited to be here. I'm Ruth Wood, I'm one of the faculty in the Integrative Anatomical Sciences program, and looking forward to telling you about our program. Katie Thornburg is a recent graduate, and so she can also chime in and tell you about her experience. So I'm going to share my screen here. We are the Master of Science in Integrative Anatomical Sciences at the Keck School of Medicine of USC, which is at the Health Science campus of USC, which is over near County Hospital. And the first question is, why our degree? And what our degree is preparing you to do is to have a deep understanding of the anatomical disciplines, and I'll explain those in a minute. But what we have recognized is that there's a shortage of people who are qualified to teach anatomy. And so this will qualify you either with in-depth knowledge of anatomy that would qualify you to teach at a community college or some baccalaureate institutions. But in addition, many of our students use this as preparation for a career in medicine, dentistry, allied health programs, and as well as PhD training. And I have just now, here we go. Just a minute, I'm having a little moment of technical issues. Okay, so our program is very small and it's very personalized. And I think that's one of the really nice things about it. We usually have about 12 students per year. It's only a master's. We don't currently offer a PhD, but we are initiating a PhD program, and that's a future option we hope to make available. We have a very personalized interaction with our students, and there's approximately a dozen faculty in our department and a dozen students. And the faculty research interests are fairly broad, everything from bone biology and functional anatomy, biological anthropology. We have paleontologists who study dinosaurs in our department, as well as people with more sort of traditional medical, biomedical research interests in behavior and pharmacology. So in general, what does the program look like? It is a 12-month program, and it starts in the summer. So it goes for the summer semester, fall, and then into the spring. So it's generally a June to May. And the four anatomical disciplines that we really focus on are gross anatomy, microanatomy, which is also known as histology, neuroanatomy, and skeletal anatomy, which is also known as osteology. And these are disciplines that we as faculty are currently teaching to the medical students. And then we're also teaching our master's student at the same level alongside the medical students, and also engaging the master's students in helping to train them as teachers. There's 32 units in total. The cost is about $2,000 a unit at USC, and this means that the total cost of tuition is about $63,000. It is a purely coursework master's degree, so it does not have a thesis component that is required, but on the other hand, there is an option to do research if that's something that interests you. And as I mentioned, the location is at the Keck School of Medicine, the Health Science campus of USC. We have now 13 faculty, and we are all teaching the medical students, and many of us have received teaching awards. And so we're really passionate about our teaching. We want to make sure that we do a good job teaching, and we want to make sure that we give our students the best opportunity so that they can be successful as teachers. And as I mentioned, our research opportunities are fairly broad. We have people who do field research. Here you can see Adam Huttenlocker. They also do very cutting edge bone imaging, as well as one of our newer hires actually studies kangaroo rats. And we have a range of different opportunities. One of the things that we think is a real plus for our program is that we combine high-tech gross anatomy as well as high touch. This is a dissection-based training program. So instead of using the more digital tools that give you an idea of what one idealized body looks like, in this case, we're doing actual full cadaveric dissection, and that gives you the sense of the range of human variation. But we recently renovated our gross anatomy lab to give large touchscreen computers at every station. And so this enables us to use both the high tech and combine that with our high touch, more traditional dissection-based course. And so I think this gives our students a really in-depth understanding of anatomy. In terms of the overview of the curriculum, it starts off with gross anatomy during the summer, and then during the remaining 2 semesters, the fall and spring, we have neuroanatomy, microanatomy, skeletal anatomy, and then also teaching elements, both to help understand teaching practices, best teaching practices, and then also opportunities to put those into practice in the gross anatomy lab. And so this shows our summer semester, which is an intensive human anatomy course. It runs for 8 weeks, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., plus additional time on your own to study. As I mentioned, it's a dissection-based course. There's 3 or 4 students per cadaveric donor, which means that you have a lot of opportunity to do really hands-on work. There's a clinical emphasis to our teaching, and with a dissection guide that is written by our own faculty. And it's important to note that students have to pass the summer anatomy course in order to continue. Then during the fall semester, things spread out more, and the students will complete microanatomy alongside our medical students. They learn neuroanatomy. They have an opportunity for an elective, and you can see there's a number of different potential electives, as well as a teaching seminar for how to teach in the anatomical sciences. In the spring semester, they take human skeletal anatomy, which is osteology. They continue with microanatomy, and they have another opportunity for electives. And now, in the spring semester, they get involved in the actual gross anatomy lab and helping our faculty in a teaching practicum. And one of the things that's been really exciting is we found that our medical students and our undergraduates are really excited to have the master's students serving as assistants in the gross anatomy laboratory. And so that's been something that's been very positive, both for our master's students as well as for the students that they're helping to learn anatomy. We have an application deadline of February 1st for scholarship consideration. You may notice that that deadline has passed, but we're very much accepting applications right now and into the spring for consideration for admission. There's a $90 application fee and some requirements, some short answers to questions about why you're interested in this program, letters of recommendation, transcripts. And so it's not it's a fairly typical application material. And I'd like to make sure that Katie has an opportunity to discuss her experience and also where her goals have led her in terms of the how the anatomy and master's program has helped her pursue her goals. So I'm going to stop sharing and let her give perspective on this.
Sure. Thanks, Dr. Wood. My name's Katie, and I actually went from medical field working as a technician going into academia. So I was looking for anatomy programs, and to be honest, there's not a lot of master's or PhD anatomy programs out there. So I was really excited about USC having a master's in anatomy because I knew I wanted to basically teach anatomy at the college level. And so I really felt like this program, the faculty are really, really knowledgeable, really helpful, really supportive, you know, especially through the pandemic, you know, things changing all the time, but like you really feel like they have your back and they want you to get a full experience. And even despite that, I felt like by the time I graduated, I don't know everything, but I feel like I know enough, have enough of a foundation to get started in professionally. So currently, I'm a lab assistant at UCLA's anatomy lab. So I help teach the first year med students in the, and I also teach at LA Valley College, their Anatomy 1 course for, so I really feel like this program really prepared me. The teaching methods course was excellent too, and gave me enough confidence to be able to teach. And I feel like even if you are someone looking to go into medical field, having to take a course about how to teach is so important, because you have to teach your patients and educate them. And so our cohort's really close as well. And I know a couple of the folks going to med school have already gotten in, and so they've had a lot of success with that. So I think it's a really, it's got a really strong foundation of anatomy, and it's great if you're either going academic or if you're going in the medical, if you're pursuing a medical career. And currently working with first year med students, I feel, and seeing what they're learning, if you take this program, you will have a solid foundation starting into med school. And then I'm actually looking at going into, I'm looking at PhDs right now. So it was really exciting when Dr. Wood said that they might have a PhD in the future. So I'll be looking into that. But right now I'm just enjoying getting my feet wet with teaching. So thank you.
Thank you very much. I think, hopefully we can convince you that this program is rigorous and yet also very personalized. And we're very proud of our graduates and the different directions that they've found. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the presentation. And thank you, Katie, for your insights into the student perspective on the program. And up next is San Francisco State University. So Luna and Raj, take it over.
Yeah, thank you for inviting us. I'm very happy to be here. So let me share my screen. Okay. So I'll be talking about our programs at San Francisco State University. We have a couple of programs, and both programs offer a certificate. So I'm Luna Abdallah, the director of the program, and actually a faculty in the program too. And Raj is actually an alumni. I'll let him talk in a little bit. So this is one of the pictures before the pandemic, and hopefully we'll be back in person. So we have two programs. One is called Formal Post-Bac Program, and it caters to pre-med and pre-dent students. And others. And another program is called the pre-nursing program, which usually offers courses for a student interested in nursing and PA, physician's assistant. If you put the two programs together, we basically accommodate nearly all types of pre-health students. We have mostly pre-medical students in our program, some pre-dent, pre-nursing, we have pre-PA, pre-PT, pre-pharmacy, pre-vet, anything, okay? So we also cater to both career changers and academic enhancer, and June Kim explained a little bit about what an academic enhancer is. So this is a student who did take their prereqs, they didn't do well, they need to enhance their academic record. Career changers are students that have not taken their prerequisites, and they need to come to the program and take all their prereqs in order to become eligible to apply to medical school or any other health profession. Again, we are very focused on community and collaboration, and we have the cohort system. Students start together and take courses together, and this is particularly true for the career changer track, where students actually take all their courses together. Academic enhancer is slightly different. There are courses that they take together and other courses that they can pick and choose from. We offer personalized advising. So when a student starts with the program, they are assigned an advisor, and that advisor will follow with them from their first day in the program until they are in their health professional school. We also offer other types of support. We have a therapist, free access to a therapist, free access to a learning specialist. We offer courses that can help with MCAT preparation and with the application process itself. And we have a network where we can connect students with some health-oriented opportunities. And actually, I would like to thank my students for that, because our students, when they leave their position, they immediately come in and, you know, they come and advertise with us. They're like, I'm leaving my position, tell your students they can come and apply. And it's a certificate program, which makes the program eligible for financial aid, and that's a good thing. And we also offer a committee letter at the end of the program. So let me talk a little bit about our classes. So our classes are devoted for post-bacs because there are formal post-bac programs. So we offer our classes and they're only open for post-bac students. So this means that there's guaranteed enrollment in program courses, small class sizes. I said I wrote 15 to 40. We don't have really lots of classes with 40 students. I think most classes go between 15 and 25 at most. And we offer all the prerequisite science and math courses. And these are typically taken by career changers or post-bacs. We also offer a large selection of elective science coursework for GPA enhancement. So these are the courses that are typically taken by academic enhancer post-bacs. So let me give you an idea about a timeline for a career changer and focusing right now on a pre-medical, pre-dental career changer. So that would be they start, for example, in the summer, and they take General Chemistry 1 and Calculus 1, and then they continue. And so basically that would be, the whole cohort will be taking all those classes together. So if you're a career changer, you start in summer 2022, you'll be done in spring 2024. Spring 2024 would be just devoted for MCAT or DAT studying and applying. And the idea is like you'll be able to apply in June 2024. If you're an academic enhancer, it's different. So it's going to be more tailored for you. And when I talked about the career changers, I'm talking about really students that haven't taken any of the prereqs. Academic enhancers, it's going to depend on your prior academic record, but on average, people spend 3 to 4 semesters and take 3 to 4 courses each semester. It's going to depend on you because you'll be working with your advisor and your advisor will tell you exactly what to do. Of course, academic enhancer will be required to take any class that they didn't pass. So C- or below from the prereqs, they need to take it. Otherwise, they take upper division classes. And this is a list of the upper division classes that we offer. I don't know if I forget anything. I think there are more. There's the nutrition class, which I teach myself. It's not mentioned there. I should have noticed that, but so we offer lots of a big variety of classes. Now, if you're interested in nursing or you want to become a physician assistant, usually this is the timeline. Again, you start summer and you finish in spring. And the next summer, you'll be just focusing on the application process. And for the pre-PA is a combination between pre-med and pre-nursing. So it's actually a pre-med curriculum, except that they don't take OChem 2 or physics, but they take microbiology and physiology, which is that part that is common with the pre-nursing. Cost and financial aid. So our courses cost $600 per unit, except for the special courses like the colloquia courses and the science discussion courses. These are 200 total, even though they're 2 units, but they are 200 total. Because we'd like to encourage the student, because we understand that these courses will not count into your BCPM GPA or your science GPA, but they are important, they're community building, you are learning how to do a work, how to write your personal statement, how to interview, so we want people to take those courses. The good thing is that we are eligible for financial aid because we are a certificate program. So I'm talking about federal financial aid. And I'm not going to go over those details, but we are covered for usually you're covered for the 3 semesters in your first year in the program. Unless you start in the fall, then you'll be eligible for 2 semesters. Before I go to application, I want to give Raj an opportunity to share his experience with the program. And please, Raj, can you talk about from the day you started until now, and you're in medical school now, so go ahead.
Yes, of course. Hi, everyone. My name is Raj. I am a Post-Bac alumni, but I'm also a UCLA Bruin alumni, so I'm really happy to be here to talk to all of you. I currently am a first-year medical student, so I've been really enjoying that experience, and I attribute a lot of how I'm doing in medical school actually to the Post-Bac, because the Post-Bac was just starting off a really, really different experience in undergrad. I'm sure a lot of you have experienced South Campus rigorous classes, and it's really easy to get lost in a sea of students and only have one professor to 300-400 students. And day one in the Post-Bac, that was completely different. It was one professor and maybe 20 of us in the class. And I am a student that really thrives in a setting like that. So I got to know all my teachers very personally, and we had amazing faculty at SF State. And we really had teachers that focused on teaching you. I remember one professor, Dr. Ahuja, she would say, I love teaching. I did research, didn't love research. I really wanted to do teaching, and that's why I'm here. And I loved having that experience because she truly was one of the best professors I've had to this day. And so I did 4 semesters in the Post-Bac. I started in the spring, and that's one of the reasons why I actually really liked SF State, because you can start in any semester. And I applied in my 4th semester, and then I got into medical school that application cycle. So definitely a really good experience at SF State. You get the chance of being on a big campus, but with a small cohort of students. And I think that's a really interesting and fun transition to make, especially coming from UCLA, as many of you may be. And I think Luna had mentioned, actually, we have advisors that are assigned to us specifically. And I did want to talk about that because you're assigned an advisor, but the Post-Bac is very cohesive. And I actually got a chance to meet with each of the advisors at different points in time. Actually, Luna helped me craft my personal statement over several sessions. And so I have to thank her so much for that, because I really got to take full advantage of every single resource the Post-Bac had to offer. And I can tell you that it really does prepare you for both the MCAT and medical school. Within my first year, I think there's very, very few content that I'm seeing for the first time, because in the Post-Bac, they do a good job of going over all of the prerequisites, and in the elective courses, you learn a lot of really good physiology, pharmacology, and those systems that really do come up in your first year of medical school. So overall, I had a really great experience, and I will go ahead and give the floor back to Luna to talk more about it.
Thank you, Raj. Thank you. Let me go back to talk about our application and what is required. If you are interested in applying to our program. Yeah. Right. Okay, so we are receiving applications right now. The summer application is open. The deadline is March 1st. And if you're a career changer, that would be the cycle the semester you want to start in. But of course, it's also open for AETs, for academic enhancers. The fall application is also open, but the deadline is 1 month later, which is April 1st. So we basically open the admission 3 times a year, depending on the semester you want to start with. So we have 3 application cycles. If you want more information, we have really nice and friendly admissions coordinator who are actually either current or previous. So please use this email. I'll put it in the chat in a second to ask more questions about the program. We also hold frequent info session. In order to find them, you go to our website, which is prehealth.sfsu.edu. So what do we expect? What should you put in your application? The application has essays. There are 6 essay questions. We really like to know you. We have a rigorous interviewing process. So, so what are we looking for? We're looking for your direct answer to each question. Just be as direct as possible. Be honest. And just tell us who you are, because we need to know you. We need to know you. You're a good fit for the program. Give you a couple of tips. You proofread and provide detail, because that's what we want. We also require letters of recommendation. Who should write your letters? Any individual that held the supervisory position over you. It could be an instructor, could be a professor, physician, volunteer coordinator, employer, research PIs, anyone who had the supervisory position over you. And what should be included in your letter? Strong examples of your character. So someone who can vouch for you, but also give examples about what you've done. We need to know who you are, basically. We need to know more about your character. So, so that's the focus of the letter. So what is a good letter? It's a letter addressed to the Post-Bac program, written by a supervisor that knows you very well as a person. They describe you in a professional way while providing concrete examples of these traits and why you would be a good fit for our program. That's what we're looking for. And that's it. No questions. The questions are going to be typed in the chat. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you very much for the presentation. You guys been so good with time. I'm so amazed. If the students have any questions about the program, feel free to use the Q&A and the chat. And hopefully towards the end, we're going to have a couple of minutes to ask in-person questions.
Yes, I will be posting the emails.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And Cassidy, you're up next.
Great, thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Let me go ahead and share my slides. Let me see if I can pull these up here. Sorry. It's been so wonderful learning in depth about each of these programs. Really finding a Post-Bac program is unique to each student. So it's been wonderful to hear that. Sorry, I don't know. I'm having some issues sharing my slides. Just give me a moment. Okay, let me just go ahead and jump to my PowerPoint. Sorry about that. Are you able to see it okay? All right, perfect.
Yes.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Sorry. So today I will be presenting on the UC Post-Baccalaureate Consortium. I'm the UC Post-Bac Consortium Coordinator. My name is Cassidy Case. And so I will be highlighting, of course, what our program is, the things that we offer. I'll discuss a little bit of our eligibility, some of our requirements and preparation as well. I'll be here to answer questions near the end or any of the Q&As as the presentation goes along. I do, of course, always like to start clarifying what a Pulseback program is. All of my fellow colleagues on this presentation today, of course, have highlighted the impact of a Pulseback program. So Pulseback can be done for a variety of different reasons. And of course, it's post-bac after your baccalaureate degree. So there are two. There's the Academic Enhancer Post-Bac program that does exist. And again, that is designed for students who have completed their medical school prerequisites and really are just looking for a GPA or a metric boost. A different kind of Pulseback program is a career changer Pulseback program. So that, of course, is designed for applicants who still need to complete the medical school prerequisites. The programs that I represent through the UC Consortium are all academic enhancers. And two key words that we use a lot with our admissions for the UC Post-Bac Consortium is applicant type. So looking at first-time applicants versus re-applicants. First-time applicants we define as those who have never applied to medical school before, but have completed the requirements for entrance into our programs. I like to clarify by saying, after the Pulseback program, you will be applying to medical school for the first time. For those that are reapplicants, those are individuals who have previously applied to a US medical school in the past, but were not granted admission. So then again, in turn, you would be reapplying once you wrap up the Pulseback program. So our consortium, our partnership, is a collaborative effort of 4 different pre-medical post-bac programs housed at the schools of medicine at UC Irvine, UCLA David Geffen School of Medicine, UCSF School of Medicine, as well as the UC Davis School of Medicine. And we all share a common thread in our mission focus of wanting to increase the number of physicians who practice in physician shortage areas of California. And we do this by assisting capable and dedicated students from disadvantaged background in gaining admission to medical school. So a few of the program requirements that we look for. So whether you're looking at our Irvine program, our San Francisco program, any of the programs, these are going to be the core requirements. We look for that demonstrated commitment to serving underserved communities within California, tying in with our mission focus. We look for individuals who have completed an undergraduate degree by in an accredited US college or university. We also look for individuals who are residents of California, which is also open to those who are AB 540, DACA, or undocumented. We look for individuals who come from educationally and or economically disadvantaged backgrounds. And I get a lot of questions on this, so I like to simplify it by saying, if you have faced adversity in your pursuit of education, of pursuing medicine, I encourage that you apply. And each program does have some unique requirements for things like GPA requirements, certain science prerequisites, and MCAT scores if you are a reapplicant. But I always do like to clarify, if you are looking at our programs and you would consider yourself a first-time applicant, you do not need to worry about MCAT. That will not be part of your requirements to apply as a first-time applicant. And you can find more of the detailed information based on each of the various campuses, either listed under our admissions tab on our website, which I'll share the link momentarily, or under our partners tab, where you can find the direct emails and direct websites for each of the campuses. I always like to clarify as well, the cost of the program is based on the tuition of each of the unique campuses. So for instance, if you will be looking at UC Irvine, you would look at their undergraduate tuition cost for an idea of what the cost will be as a post-bac student. Our application is free, and it does mirror the medical school application for allopathic schools, also known as AMCAS for the American Medical College Application Service. So I always like to clarify this by saying, please do allow ample time to complete this application, but do keep in mind that this is an exposure tactic. So whether you have already previously applied to medical school or whether you will later down the line, it will look a little bit familiar. Following in line, similarly to medical school applications, we do require letters of recommendation. And in particular, we do require at least one science faculty letter of recommendation, followed with a community service-based experience. And then we're flexible on the third option if you would like to use an employer, research director, whatever may be most beneficial for you. We do look for official transcripts to be sent in for all of your college level work. And for our reapplicants, we do look for a copy of your medical school application, which would either be your AMCAS or ACOMAS verified report. I always like to highlight as well that we do have 3 essay prompts. These are always listed on our website if you'd like to preview them ahead of time. We do have that very standard why medical school that you will get a lot. And then of course we have 2 that are more catered to our program. So one, inquiring about your interest in a post-baccalaureate program, as well as your community service essay describing your experience volunteering with or living in an underserved community as it correlates with our mission focus. As I said before, it is one free application for all 4 programs. So it is a consolidated application. You won't need to submit multiple transcripts or do different application requirements for each program. It is one application that will then be divvied out to the programs that you've identified an interest in applying to. We do have some different deadlines based on applicant type. So for our first-time applicants, we have a deadline of March 23rd. And for our re-applicants, it does differ by campus. Irvine is the earliest, staying with that March 23rd date. We have UC Davis and UC San Francisco in early May, and then UC Los Angeles, which is in fact a re-applicant only program, is much later, with the intention of keeping it open for those who may be applying within this current medical school application cycle and have not received admission. I do want to note as well, it is rolling admissions and applications are currently live. So if you are interested in applying, I would recommend looking into the details and beginning that process. So although we are a partnership of 4 different programs, we really do hold a lot of similarities regardless of which program you wind up at. All do require an interview before granting admission, and each of our programs are approximately a year in length. So whether you're looking at, for example, our UC Davis or UCLA programs, those will have a fall start, or our UC San Francisco or UC Irvine, they will have a summer start, but regardless, it'll be a year-long program. All of our programs offer a covered MCAT preparation component to get you ready for that exam or to retake the exam. We do offer, of course, as academic enhancers, upper division science coursework to help you to boost your GPA. We do have the expectation that our students do well, as is very important for post-baccalaureate students across the board. So we do look for a minimum of a 3.5 GPA while you're in the program with the coursework that you're completing within that year. Our students are eligible for FAFSA aid in the form of federal and private loans. We do encourage applying to FAFSA if additional funding does become available as well. And for the big majority of our programs, we do have a no work requirement. So this really is a full-time commitment. We often refer to our students as baby medical students, really wanting to dive in and rigorous academics, zeroing in on professional development and medical school readiness. So with the hopes of really easing that transition when you do become an MS1 or a first-year medical student. And we're happy to say that across the consortium, we have above an 80% acceptance rate of our students being admitted into medical school, which is something that we are very proud of. So I always like to wrap up by saying how you can stand out as an applicant. And if these are a few of the things that we will look for. So an upward GPA trend is something that can demonstrate that you can handle the academic rigor of a course. So we know that life happens and there may be dips in your academic record. Perhaps you're working multiple jobs, something happened in your personal life. Perhaps as a transfer student, it was a big shift going from semester to quarter, right? So, but an upward GPA trend is essentially more recent coursework that highlights that you can handle academically rigorous courses. For extracurricular activities, I really encourage you to speak to your special interests. It's really important to have your voice shine through and have an authentic application that highlights your unique passions while you're wanting to pursue this path. And similarly, along with your personal statement, take that as an opportunity to showcase your unique journey towards medicine and perhaps your experiences overcoming adversity. As I highlighted earlier, there are things that happen that impact our GPA, our academic record. And so feel free to explain and provide context for situations that may have occurred. It's always helpful. I say for any admissions committee, you don't want them walking away with blanks to fill in on their own. So try to provide all that you can to give them a full picture of your journey and who you are. And last but not least, strong letters of recommendation. And I always say, connecting with someone who knows your unique attributes and can speak to you is much more impactful than an impressive title per se. So begin those connections early, reach out to reconnect, and consider who really can showcase who you are and your unique attributes to an admissions committee. So with that said, I am happy to answer any questions. Again, my name is Cassidy Kays, and I am the UC Post-Bac Consortium Coordinator. So I work with all 4 of the programs within the consortium, and I'm happy to answer any questions. You can also feel free to email me at pbcentraladmin@ucdavis.edu. I will be sure to add that in the chat, and you can always check out our website. We have webinars that we offer throughout the year, opportunities to connect with alumni, as well as one-on-one advising sessions. So happy to answer any questions in the chat and share resources as needed. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Cassidy, for that overview. It really helped me to finally understand what the consortium is.
There are many components.
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much. And up next is Western University. Maya, please take it over.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Sorry, it's a little dark in this room. I have no more lighting in here. I do apologize for that. So hopefully you guys are able to see me. Okay, let me just share my screen here. Okay. All right, so today I'm going to be talking to you guys about our Masters of Science in Medical Sciences program. And again, my name is Maya Smith, and I am the Admissions Counselor 3, or University Recruiter, if you will, at Western U. So just briefly, in case some of you guys don't know what Western U is, Western University of Health Sciences, we were actually founded as a College of Osteopathic Medicine in 1977. We later on added all of the other programs that we have, since we do total, I think we're at 29 now instead of 27 of programs that we have now added to make us Western University of Health Sciences now. So we have transitioned from an osteopathic school to an health sciences institution. And then these are just some of the degrees if you guys just want to take a quick look at those on your own time. And then these are also our master's programs. So we do have both doctoral and master's programs here. So specifically, we are going to be talking about our special master's program, which is our MS program, as we like to call it. And this program is basically designed to assist individuals from diverse backgrounds in gaining acceptance to professional schools with the ultimate goal of increasing the number of health professionals in underserved areas. So essentially, we want to kind of create cultural diversity and competency of healthcare providers so we can reduce the healthcare disparities. So this program is kind of very on par with Western U overall. So Western University is located in the city of Pomona. So we are in a disadvantaged community. So a lot of times we are doing a lot of community events, community education. We do offer free clinics. We have a patient care center on our campus, where a lot of people come in to get, whether that be dental work or if they need podiatry help, optometry. I actually visited the eye doctor yesterday on campus. So we do offer a lot of services and a lot of free services, especially to the children in the area and the homeless population. So this program is definitely right on par with Western University's vision overall. So I say that this program is a special master's program because this program will give you a new graduate GPA. So you'll complete additional science coursework, and then you'll demonstrate that you're able to excel at a graduate level. Now, this is important because it's going to show that maybe if you weren't, if you didn't do as well in your undergrad and you might have dealt with some adversity, you're kind of able to show, just because I went through this undergrad does not mean that's who I am as a person, does not mean that I am not capable of completing a program or getting through medical school or whatever professional school that you wish to go into. So this is really just giving you guys an opportunity to show what you can do and to show that you are able to handle the rigors of whatever professional school you wish to go into. You'll also gain a credential, of course, because this is a master's program. And of course, that will improve your, and that also will improve your residency competitiveness, as well as you'll be able to get recommendations. So having letters of recommendation from faculty that are actually in our DO program, so DO faculty, dental faculty, optometry faculty, all of the programs that we actually link to, which I will get into in just a moment, will be working with the MS program. So that will give you an opportunity to ask for mentorship, work closely with faculty, as well as it gives them a chance to know you so that they are able to even write you a letter of recommendation. So that looks awesome, of course, on your application into professional school. So that's just something to think about as well. And then also the program is designed to make sure that you're prepared to go into these professional programs. So of course, you're going to gain the skills and the confidence in order to transition into your professional program. And then let me see. Sorry, I just wanted to check the chat very quickly. Okay. So this program obviously emphasizes diversity. So we are looking for students that are underrepresented in medicine, people who may have, like I said before, have faced adversity, or less than 10% of accepted medical students. I'm sorry, this is a fact. Less than 10% of accepted medical students come from the two lowest quintiles of family income. So if you're someone that maybe has dealt with financial issues growing up, or when you were going to school, or had to be on assistance or anything of that nature, we can understand how that can affect your educational history. And so that is something that we look to, and that we look to support you guys in trying to reach your goals into professional school. Also for our first generation college students. So of course, we do understand that there is a little bit of a disadvantage for students whose parents did not go to college. So you are figuring some things out on your own here. So we want to let you know that you do have that support. So the program is really designed for those students who may not felt like they've had a chance just because of their adversity, or coming from a disadvantaged background, etc. So we want to make sure that you guys have that support, so that you guys are able to show what you can do, so that you guys are able to matriculate into medical school or dental school. So now I'm going to basically kind of explain a little bit about why I call it a special master's program. So essentially for this program, if you go into the MS program, you are able to, you have the opportunity to link into several of our programs. So the most common one is actually our DO school, so College of Osteopathic Medicine. Also, next would be dental would be our second most popular program, and then we have optometry, podiatry. We also have 5 seats for pharmacy. So it just kind of depends on which program you want to go into, but I do know that we have the most students go into dental and to medical school. So basically by joining this program, it's kind of helping you get your foot in the door and showing the faculty of those professional programs that you are able to handle the rigor of medical school or dental school or what have you. So basically, we use the transcripts to determine the student's GPA, and also course load and unemployment during undergraduate program. So those are things, like I said, that are considered into deciding if you would be eligible to come into the MS program. We look at your background information. So again, we're looking at your parents' education as well, because as we know, that does play a huge factor in your academic history as well. And then in order to interview for our master's program, you will be mostly just having a conversation with us. We really want to get to know you first and foremost to see that you are a good fit for the university. We are looking for mission fits. So like I said, people that represent the URIM or underrepresented in medicine, lower socioeconomic background, possibly, and then first generation college students. We're also looking to people that have a high service commitment, just because, like I said, Western U is very big on community service. The majority of the things that all of our programs do have been centered around community service, whether that be in the city of Pomona or the surrounding areas, as well as even internationally. And we also would like to see that you've had some involvement with underserved areas and populations. So like we said, we're trying to decrease the healthcare disparities. So if you are someone who has done volunteer work in some of these areas, or possibly even worked in some of these areas, those are things that we'd like to see. And that's something that you should definitely add to your application. When looking at your MS curriculum, the program overall is 12 months. So it's a 12-month program, meaning that it is from June to June. It is a very rigorous program. So even though it is 1 year, it is not a walk in the park. So we want to make sure that you know that you're going into a rigorous program, because you're really trying to show us that you do belong in one of our professional programs. You are able to join the program, the MS program, even if you do not wish to link at our institution. However, the majority of our students wish to link in one of our programs, just because it is somewhat designed that way. But you, of course, are more than welcome to, just use the program and apply it to another institution as well. So for our curriculum, so you do need to have it's 46.5 units. The courses are offered, like I said, at an advanced level. So it's going to be showing that you are more than capable to handle some of the professional schoolwork that you'll be doing. So it's a little bit more than undergrad, but it's not necessarily at the exact rigor of medical school, but it's right there. So it's close enough to show that you'd be able to survive, of course, if you go into our medical school or dental school, etc. You're also going to be covering basic medical sciences during the program. So this is a way to help you enhance your skills. So you'll be doing gross anatomy, microbiology, molecular and cellular biology. And then of course, you'll be doing research as well. And research is going to be done through faculty mentored investigations, like I said, which is great because it gives you a chance to really connect with faculty, get some mentorship there, as well as even possibly get some letters of recommendation, so that you can add that into your professional school applications. And next we have just kind of like a quick overview of like the program features. So like I said, it is going to be science and professional. So it is to enhance those science skills so that you do feel like you are confident enough to go into the professional program of your choice. Like I said, it is accelerated. So I do want you guys to please note that. For that reason, we request that you do not work during this program. It is probably near impossible just because of the amount of work that you'll be doing. We do require that your prerequisites for the professional program that you wish to go into are complete before applying to this program. Again, you do not have time to even try to do any prerequisites as you're in this program. So these are things that we ask to be completed upon applying to the program. So you do have wraparound attention, like I mentioned. There is going to be faculty working very closely with you. So of course you are able to get more mentorship there. There is a cohort structure and team building. So you will be working very closely with your cohort, excuse me. And we do have intrusive advising and success plans. So with that being said, that is to help you guys. They do interview preparation. They do a lot of things that I guess you could say some programs don't do in regards to just making sure that you are confident and comfortable with going into interviews, and some of the skills that you may not have because you may not have had someone to look to know how to go about a professional application, or how to interview. If you feel a little bit nervous about things like that, they will be going over things with you. There's going to be mock interviews, etc. So we definitely do make sure that we create a success plan for you. And then also, of course, you're going to have exposure to research. Like I said, you'll be working with faculty, team-based learning, cumulative exams, and application strengthening. So this program is not considered a traditional grade enhancement program, but rather than an application strengthening program as well. So that's something I should note, as some of the other programs did note. But again, like we said, we call it a special master's program just because we do have the opportunity for you to link into any of, I believe, 5 programs that I mentioned previously. The number 1 being medical school and number 2 being our dental program. So of 208 incoming students, 94% have graduated. And so the MSMS graduates have matriculated into medical school, I think it was about 131. So then the graduates that have matriculated into dental school, as you can see, it's 47. So that's our 2nd tier. And then into our optometry school, and then MSMS students that have matriculated into a PA program. Now, we don't have a linkage opportunity into our own PA program, because I know that Western U does have a pretty competitive PA program. However, we do not have a link into ours, but some students have taken this program to use it to enhance their application to get into other PA programs. But I do know specifically for our dental and medical school, students that have joined the MSMS program to matriculate into our programs, upwards of 90% of those students go on to matriculate into their professional program of choice. And then our admissions process. And forgive me if I'm breathing fast or shortness of breath. I'm quite pregnant, so I can't breathe very well sometimes, but hopefully I'm not going too fast or breathing too hard. So for the application process, so of course you're going to need a bachelor's degree to apply. So you're going to earn your bachelor's degree and make sure that you complete all of your prerequisite courses that are required for your future professional program of study. Again, I say that because you do not have time in this rigorous program to take any prerequisites. That also includes any shadowing hours that you needed or any volunteer hours. You definitely want to make sure that you have all those done prior to applying to this program. You're also going to want to gather your 3 letters of recommendation. And then you also need to take an admissions test. So this program does require that you apply with the admissions test that you are for the program that you're looking to go into. So an MCAT, a DAT, those are the most common. If you're applying with the GRE, that would only be used for if you're looking to go to a PA program afterwards or something of that nature. But if you are looking to apply to our dental or medical school, you definitely would need to apply with an MCAT or a DAT. You're going to submit your application through Post-Bac CAS, and your transcripts need to be there along with your admissions test, and of course your letters of rec. You're going to come into an interview. So the interview process comes maybe about a month after turning in the applications. So it's not rolling admissions. We will start about a month afterwards, after the deadline. And then of course you matriculate as a student. Our application opens August 12th and closes March 4th. So if you are interested and you have taken one of these admissions tests, you may be eligible to still apply for the upcoming cycle. So March 4th is the deadline. You need a minimum GPA of a 2.5 for the program. That should be overall and science. You need the 3 letters of recommendation, and one should come from a science professor or clinician. And then you'll need the MCAT or DAT if you wish to go into the medical or dental programs. You can also apply to the program with GRE or PCAT, but that will not be, that you won't be able to link if you would like to link with those 2 admissions tests. Let me see here. Could you explain more about the employment program? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm not sure if that was to me or not, but if you guys do have any questions, if you can put them in the Q&A box, so that way I can see who asked the question, because I do see that someone raised their hand. If you can put your question in the Q&A for me. No. Or I might not be able to.
Feel free, anybody, to put the questions either in the Q&A or the chat. Both works.
Yes, thank you. Okay, and then just our competitive class stats. So although the 2.5 is minimum for the overall and science GPA, having a you know, around a 3.0, 3.17, that will make you a little bit more competitive for this program. And then the MCAT, you're looking at around a 4.99. So that's the most common one. So that's the one that we usually give to you guys. Tuition is $27,785. And remember, this is for a 12-month program, so from June to June. So that is the tuition for the year. And then if you have any questions with financial aid, I will put their email in the chat in case anyone has any questions about how they can possibly fund this program. And if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to me. My email is mayasmith@westernu.edu. You can always give me a call, or you can sign up for an advising appointment through this link, but I'll go ahead and put that in the chat for you all. Okay. And thank you so much for listening to my presentation on our MS program.
Thank you so much, Maya, for the presentation. And if you have any questions for Maya, please Q&A and chat, and she will put her contact information in the chat for us. And I'm going to invite Dietra and Brianna to present on Scripps College program.
Wonderful. Thank you for having us today. We really, really appreciate it. We're going to begin with our PowerPoint. Brianna, do you want to take a moment and just introduce yourself before we start with the information about the program?
Sure. Yeah, I'm Brianna. I am an MS1 now at Loma Linda University School of Medicine, and I was in the Scripps Post-Bac program from 2019 to 2020. So excited to be able to talk about it with you guys.
Yeah, and we're thrilled
nice
to
to
have
see
you.
my own class.
This is your own class. There's Brianna right in the front, at the left of your screen. So I'm going to take a moment to give you some basic information about our program, and then I'm going to leave it to Brianna to share more about her student experience, okay? So our program is a career changer program. We are specifically looking for students that have never applied to medical school, that majored in something other than the sciences. It's a small selective program with an educational foundation in the basic science requirements. It was developed and designed by our own faculty and continues to be a great source of pride for our faculty in the Science Center. Our students that come through our program, 98% of them successfully matriculated into medical school. The national average is about 48%, so we're very proud of our students and the hard work that they accomplish in the time in our program. Okay, now this is just to give you an overview. It is a very robust 12-month, but it's a very effective 12 months. So students arrive on campus in mid-May and take 3 courses. They do not take them simultaneously. They're in a block system. So they have 4 weeks of intro chem, 4 weeks of the second semester of chem, and 4 weeks of biology. Then they have a nice 3-week break. And in the fall semester, then they integrate into the rest of our courses by taking organic chemistry and those items you can see on the course. These are the primary courses that a non-science student would be missing to be able to take the MCAT and apply to medical school. And we do run through those in 12 months. So our students are completed with the program in mid-May. They start in mid-May and end in mid-May. And so it's more than just going to classes. We do want our students to remember what their passion of medicine is based on. And so we do expect that outside of the classroom, they're spending anywhere from 4 to 10 hours a week doing something that brings joy and value to their pre-med journey, whether that's working in a hospital, doing research, or community service. And we do a lot of intensive advising to guide students on choosing which one is the best for their path based on their background. Of course, the third part of applying to medical school outside of your courses and your experiences is getting ready for the standardized exam, the MCAT. We do integrate it into our course. It's something that we ask students to pay extra for, and the reason for this is our pre-dental and our pre-vet students do not take the MCAT. They would be taking different exams. And so each student pays for a prep course for the exam that they're going to be taking. The vast majority of our students take the MCAT, and so we've partnered with Blueprint, which is a student-chosen program. They've selected that, and have found that right now it's the best one to meet the needs of a Scripps Post-Bac student. One of the unique things about Scripps is that we do offer linkages to 6 medical schools, and that means that we have contracts with the schools listed on the screen, which will allow you to start medical school this summer after you finish the Post-Bac program. So you finish the Post-Bac program in mid-May, and if you go through the application process to one of these 6 schools and you're successful, then you would begin medical school when their new class enters. And every year, about a third of our students choose this path. Several students, including Brianna, don't choose this path. And there's lots of personal reasons for that. And we work through that very closely in our individual advising. Our program is really, the foundation of it is built on individual advising and helping students walk their own journey. And this is a part of that. In order to be successful in our Post-Bac program and to be a strong candidate, these are some things to consider. You must have a bachelor's degree and a minimum undergraduate of a 3.0. And the things that you see on the screen, we're looking for motivated people who've had experience in the medical field, whether that's volunteering, working as a scribe, working as a nurse, but they basically have a non-science background and they need to prepare for the first year of medical school and for those labs that go with that, with the MCAT. We open our admissions process in September and we continue to evaluate applications through March. We are still filling a few seats in the class this year, so it's not too late for this coming summer. It is advantageous to submit early in the process, but like I said, we're still open for applications through Post-Bac CAS as we speak. Our program tuition is on the screen there. It's about $46,000 for the 1 year, and it covers what is needed for that first year, that one Post-Bac year. There is financial aid available, and if you visit our website, the financial aid team will set up individual counseling sessions to talk about options with that. And just next steps, like if you want to be in a career changer Post-Bac program and you're trying to develop your application, what are things you need to be thinking about? And these are the things I would hope you would be thinking about. If you haven't already been in a medical setting, getting that medical experience, getting involved in community service, focusing on your quantitative background to begin becoming a scientist and being successful. And then also being aware of the fact that the MCAT does involve social sciences. So there's a level of sociology and psychology background that's required to do well on that exam. Although it's not a part of our coursework, it is something that you're going to need in the future. So I am talking fairly quickly in large part because I really just want Brianna to be able to talk about her student experience and what it was actually like to be at Scripps. I'm going to give the rest of the time to her to speak.
Okay, thanks, Deidre. Yeah, so I could talk a lot about Scripps because I really love the program, but in a nutshell, I chose Scripps because I thought that they would give me the best shot at being successful and getting into medical school, and seemed to have worked. So one of the things that I just really loved about the Scripps program, as you can see there, Deidre, Messina, and Dr. Priest, they're just like a power trio. And so they are so just like really well experienced in each of their fields. And but they also have a really deep care for us as their students. And I just felt so supported, not just in like getting through classes, but also in the whole med school application process, which when I went into the Scripps program, I don't think I fully understood the whole medical school application process. And so they had several workshops. We had several like advising sessions that really helped just guide us throughout the process and alleviated a lot of stress. And then also just the environment I learned. I didn't realize like the faculty were so involved, but it was very evident that the faculty were like really invested in the program because all of the teachers were very supportive, like so eager to help us, to listen to us in office hours. And I really enjoyed the small class sizes, roughly like 20 to 30 in a class. And so like you really could get to know your professors and they could get to know you, which is nice when you're asking for what is a recommendation later. And also just like they're really excellent, just excellent communicators, excellent teachers. There are some things I'm about like 6-7 months into med school, and I've come across several topics where I've like, oh, I learned that in my post-bac program, and like Dr. Priest taught that really well, and I understand it such that I can explain it to my classmates in a different way that helps them understand it. And so just, yeah, a really solid educational foundation. And then also just like the legacy of Scripps is something that I didn't really actually know about until I joined Scripps. And by that, it's just like, it's a very well-established program. It has a lot of connections, as you saw with like all the linkages. And for me, so I was a nurse before, but I hadn't taken the basic science classes that were required for med school. And I needed more research experience. So I was able to do some of the, they had a special application to do research with a couple different places. And one of them was with Loma Linda. And that was a really great experience. And honestly, I think it helped me build a network and get connections for being where I am now. And yeah, it was something interesting just going in and like hearing like, oh, where are you from? And saying like, oh, I'm from Scripps. And then they say, oh, Scripps is a really great program. And that was something I just didn't really know, but it was something that I was so grateful to benefit from. And so there's a lot of different factors. I think also the cohort, love my cohort. And just, yeah, the environment was very super collaborative. And that was something that I knew I wanted in a post-bac program. I think being a career changer, you can feel like you're a little crazy sometimes to be doing such a big transition. But it's a lot of fun when you're with other people who are as crazy as you are, and who are all working towards the same goal and encouraging each other. And even not just like within my class, but also even the class above us was like super encouraging and helpful. And, you know, dynamics will be different, but there's definitely that potential. And like Dietra, Messina, Dr. Priest, they all foster that so well, because like they work really well together as a team. And so it just overflows like to the cohort that we all could get along really well together. And I still keep in contact with some of my classmates to this day. And so, yeah, I would just, for me, like, I'm happy to share more, but it was, Scripps was one of the best decisions for me. And it definitely helped me just get more comfortable with the whole idea of med school and the whole application process. And there's just a lot of support, probably one of the best years of my life. So, yeah. Are there any specific questions, or I'm also happy to give my email if anyone wants to talk more about.
Great. Brianna, if you want to go ahead and put your email in the chat, that would be wonderful.
Okay.
And just thank you to everyone. You know, we do love our program. We love our community. We invest a lot in it, both personally and professionally. And it's a joy for us to have new cohorts start and become a part of the Scripps legacy. So please let us know if you have additional questions. And a very special thank you to UCLA and Christina for having us here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. I really enjoyed listening to all of the presentations and the student input. That's always extremely valuable. I'm going to stop recording.